Hello, hello, welcome back to the channel. I wanted to bring to you today a beautiful, soft and flowy vinyasa practice. Today we will be getting into the shoulders a little bit with some twists and opening up the hips as well. So we will move through this practice really slowly and really intentionally in order for you to really feel into your body. So with vinyasa, it's all about moving with your breath. One breath is one movement. So as we move through this practice, really try to tune into how you're breathing. So I will cue the breath throughout, but if that doesn't help or it's not in line with your breathing, then feel free to just let that go and breathe at your own pace. This sequence is all about feeling into your body, and all of our bodies are very different. We all have different aches and pains, and we have different lifestyles, so our bodies can feel very, very different to each other. So as we move through this practice, I will give you lots of different options and modifications, and it's really up to you to decide how you want to move through this practice, what things you may want to push into, and what things you may want to just pull back and relax. So take your time as we move through this practice. This is completely your time for you, so really do what feels good for your body. So with that being said, you can come to a comfortable seat, cross-legged, or your legs out in front of you if that feels more comfortable for you. And just take a moment to close down the eyes. Think about your sit bones touching the mat or the floor. And think about each vertebrae of your spine, starting from your lower back. And with each inhale, moving a little bit higher towards your lower back, your upper back, and then sending your attention to your shoulders. As you sit in this upright position, how are your shoulders feeling? On your next inhale, can you raise your shoulders towards your ears? And on the exhale, just lower them back down. A few more times like that. On the inhale, slowly raising your shoulders up towards your ears. And on your exhale, think about someone placing their hands on your shoulders as they push them gently back down. One more time like that. Inhale. And exhale. Sending your intention a little bit higher up towards your neck. How is your neck feeling on your shoulders? You drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. Just feel a little bit of a bend in your neck. Pause for a breath here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, coming to center. And on your next exhale, dropping your left ear towards your left shoulder. One more breath here. Bring your neck back to center. The next time you inhale, can you raise the arms up, looking upwards towards the ceiling? And on the exhale, planting your hands back behind you, just a bit further behind your hips, leaning your weight into your palms and then stepping both of your feet onto the mat. Think about sending your feet slightly wider than hip width. And on your inhale, find length. Push into your palms as you lengthen the spine. And on the exhale, dropping your knees over towards the right. On your next inhale, sending your knees over towards the left. On your exhale, soften. Inhale, we move over towards the right. And exhale, holding it there. A few more times like that in your own breath, at your own pace. And each time we move, try and acknowledge what's happening within your body. Are your hips feeling tight or stiff, or perhaps they're feeling quite open this morning? Do you perhaps have one side that is maybe a little bit more open than the other? In which case, that's totally fine and completely normal. Our lives are really not linear, so we often do things with one side of our body that we may not do with the other. If you take driving a car, for example, if you have an automatic, you may use one foot to push the pedals. And that's just one example of how our bodies can differ from side to side. So the next time you do come to your side where you feel like it needs a little bit more love and attention, just hold it there. Tune into your breath. And try to soften. At this point, we're just acknowledging the hips. We're not trying to change anything or push too deep into a stretch. We're just acknowledging where we are this morning. On your next inhale, coming up to center. Exhale, taking your right foot inside the mat, into your left thigh, and then straightening your left leg out towards the side. Walking your palms upwards. And just feel a grounding through your sit bones. You can lift each leg one at a time, just so that you can feel the connection of your sit bones on the mat. Raising your arms here on your next inhale. And exhale, softening. If this feels like enough for you, if you can feel the stretch within your hamstrings, then absolutely stay there. If you'd like a little bit more, you can walk your hands forwards and think about tilting at the pelvis, sending your hips back as you drop your chest slightly lower towards the ground. And again, tune into your breath. With each inhale, an opportunity to find length within the spine. And with each exhale, we soften. We tension check the body. Perhaps you can send your shoulders away from your ears. And lower. From here, can you play with your gaze, perhaps looking over your right shoulder? And then sending your gaze over your left shoulder. As you move from right to left, can you think about how the stretch is moving with you? Perhaps you can feel it in your hips, in your lower back, or even in your hamstring on your left leg that's straightened. Coming back to center, walking the hands upwards And then looking all the way up towards the ceiling. And slowly dropping your chin to your chest. Bringing your head and neck back to center, and we'll just do the same on the opposite side. So switching over the legs. So your right leg is out straight, your left foot is on your right inner thigh, and you raise the arms up on your inhale. Exhale, dropping your palms towards the mat. And again, just take a moment to acknowledge the sitting in the upright position. How does this feel? Can you connect your sit bones towards the mat and feel a sense of grounding? Perhaps a sense of length in the spine. And then if this feels like enough, stay here. Option, if you want a bit more, you can walk the palms forwards and gently soften, bringing your chest lower towards the mat. As I mentioned earlier, each sides of our body can feel very different. So just acknowledge that as we move through each side. Perhaps you can send your breath to any areas that might feel a little bit tighter. Perhaps you can tell your nervous system that it's okay to be just here. And then looking over your left shoulder and shifting your gaze to your right shoulder. A few more times like that. This time, can you bring your shoulders into it a little bit more as you find a little bit of a deeper twist each time? Notice how these slight micro movements can really shift the stretch within your spine and your hips and your lower back. When you're ready, coming back to center, walking the palms back up towards your hips, and then raising your head to look up at the ceiling. On your exhale, chin to chest. Once more like that. Inhale, raising your gaze up. And exhale, dropping the chin. Then bringing your leg over to cross over your right, which can feel a little bit odd. The majority of the time we have our legs in the opposite position with your right leg forward. So it can feel a little bit strange to be seated like this. It can feel like you're sat in somebody else's body. And just acknowledge that sensation and how it feels. Can you add a little bit of movement, perhaps a rock and a roll, just to feel into your body. And then on your next inhale, raise the arms up. On your exhale, we're twisting over towards the right, so your left hand's coming towards your right knee as you twist open towards the right, looking over your right shoulder. Think about finding length in the spine, and every exhale softening, looking over your right shoulder. On your next inhale, raise your right arm all the way up. And on your exhale, taking your right hand over towards your left knee, so you're in a crossed position. Again, looking up towards the sky. Exhale, chucking your chin to your chest. Twice more like that. Inhale, looking upwards. And with the exhale, sending your chin towards your chest, perhaps arcing the spine a little. And coming back into a neutral spine, and raise your back of your palms to touch. Option to stay here if this feels like enough, perhaps within your shoulders. If it's within your practice, you can eagle wrap, so placing your palms to touch. And on your inhale, raise the elbows and arms up and away from your body. On your exhale, tucking inwards, curling and rounding down. Twice more like that. Coming back to your breath. And then coming back to center, unraveling your arms, rolling over your knees, finding your all fours cat-cow position. So bringing your knees hip width distance apart and your hands underneath your shoulders, dropping your belly down, lifting the chest, looking upwards. And on the exhale, think about tucking your pelvis in, arcing through the spine, looking towards your knees or your navel as you tuck your head under. Inhale, dropping your belly, lifting your chest. And on the exhale, finding your cat, arcing through the spine. Now we'll just do that really quickly, like moving as quick as you can, forwards and backwards. And then pause and slow it down. Looking upwards, and then as slow as you can, bringing your chin to your chest and really consciously thinking about each vertebrae as you slowly arc your spine. One more time, dropping the belly as slow and controlled as you can. And just acknowledging the difference of how that makes us feel as we play with the speed of movement. Beautiful. Now keeping both hands grounded, can you take your right leg out towards the back of the mat? Keeping it out straight, toes pointing down towards the mat. On your next inhale, can you bring your knee, bending at the knee, bringing your knee all the way over towards your right elbow. Perhaps touching your elbow if you can, or option to just stay here if that feels good. And then sending your leg back. We're opening up like that twice more. With each inhale, we come forward. And the exhale, sending it back. Beautiful. Dropping your knee back down towards the mat. Stay grounded on your right palm as you stack the shoulders and open your left palm all the way up towards the sky. On your exhale, thread the needle. Your left hand is coming under your right shoulder as you bring your left ear all the way down towards the mat. Taking a pause here. Slowing down. And then shifting your way into your right palm once more as you push into your palm. Open up the shoulders, stacking, your left arm goes high. And then on the exhale, dropping it down towards the mat. Taking your left palm in front of you this time as you float your back right leg once more. Finding your balancing table. Inhale and exhale. As we move through balancing postures, try to keep in tune with your breath. Try not to hold your breath. And then dropping your hand back down to the mat, dropping your knee back down, walking your palms all the way towards the back of the mat so you're in your kneeling position. And inhale here. Exhale, your left hand comes towards your right knee as you twist open towards the right. Looking behind you. inhale, raise the back arm all the way up. And on the exhale, crossing your palm over towards your left knee. So your right hand is on top this time. On your next inhale, backs of the palms to touch. You can stay here if it feels good, or if you want to, you can twist your palms so that they're both facing each other. Find your eagle wrap. On the inhale, our elbows go away from the body, raise the arms up. And on the exhale, you tuck your chin to your chest, round through the spine. Twice more like that. As slow and controlled as you can. Moving towards your own breath. And then coming back to center, unraveling the arms. Take an inhale here and raise your both arms up. On the exhale, planting your right hand down, left arm goes all the way up and over for a side bend. Holding it here. Can you think about sending your inhales towards your left side ribs? And with the exhale, keep a bend in your right elbow, soften. Can you wiggle your elbow even to make sure there's absolutely no tension there? And on your next exhale, dropping your left arm all the way forwards, bringing it all the way as if you're trying to reach for the top of the mat, and then following with your right palm, dropping your left palm towards the mat, and then your right arm comes all the way up and over, and bend into that side. Holding it there, connect to your breath. And then moving as slow as you like. We'll do that one more time on each side. So dropping your right arm forwards, reaching forwards towards the top of the mat as your left arm sails over. And we'll keep moving, left arm down, right arm all the way up and over. Finding fluidity in your body. Then coming up all the way to center. Exhale, taking your hands back down towards your side and then walking them forwards to find your tabletop position once more. So we'll do the same on the opposite side. Taking your left leg back behind you, toes pointing down towards the mat, keeping your gaze looking down towards the mat so you have a straight spine from the head, neck, lower back, and then straight out towards your legs. And on your next inhale, reaching around, your left knee is coming out towards the side, towards your left elbow. Send it back. Inhale, coming round. Dropping your knee back down towards the mat, shifting your weight into your left palm as your right arm goes high. Stacking of the shoulders, pushing into your left palm as you find length through your side body. And on your next exhale, thread the needle, right arm coming under your left shoulder, right ear comes down towards the mat, your hips are high, and soften. Use this as an opportunity to tension check your body. How is your neck feeling? Can you drop your head deeper into the mat to find a little bit more weight so you can avoid holding your neck? Can you move your shoulders away from the ears to stop them dropping forwards? And then pushing into your left palm on your next inhale, raising the right arm all the way up. Exhale, dropping it down towards the mat, and then taking it out forward in front of you. Sending your left leg all the way back, balancing table. And again, come back to your breath. Dropping your right hand down towards the mat, dropping your knee, your left knee all the way coming through. So tucking your knee towards your nose, round at the spine like we did with our cat-cow, and then stepping your left foot in between the palms. If it can't get there, feel free to give it a helping hand, moving your foot forwards. And then we're just going to roll here. So shifting the weight forwards and backwards and bending and straightening into that left leg. You might feel a few pops or a few clicks in your hips or your knees as you move through your body. I'm not sure if the mic is picking up my clicks in my palms and my hips, but I promise you it does feel good. And then once you're ready, you're going to come into your low lunge. So shifting your weight slightly forward. Think about having a right angle from your ankle all the way up to your knee, and then grounding into that front left foot. On your next inhale, push the floor away, coming into your low lunge. Think about growing length in your spine. And inhale, actively pushing into the mat. Exhale, we're going to bend into that front knee. So think about opening up the hip as you lunge into your front leg. Your next inhale, we're raising up. Exhale, cactus the arms out towards your side as you bend into your knee. Twice more like that. And on your next inhale, find length. And then drop your left palm down, right arm up and over, leaning towards the left. Bring your left arm high as you come to center, dropping your right arm down, leaning towards the right. Keeping your balance here. And then bringing both palms down to frame your left foot. Tuck your back toes, step your left foot all the way back to plank. You can drop to your knees here and then slowly lower your chest towards the mat. On the inhale, raise the chest up, upward dog or cobra. And on your exhale, tuck the toes, shifting your weight back towards your hips as you move into your downward facing dog. And take a breath. This is the first time we've been in our down dog today, so feel free to make any adjustments. You can pedal out your dog. You can twist from side to side. You can lift the heels up. Think about sending the heels back and how that makes you feel. And if that's within your practice today, that's great. And if not, just tune into your body and think about what feels the most comfortable for you in this position. Downward dog should be a position where you can find a little bit of centering and grounding and relaxation. So make any modifications that you need within your body to be able to find that. On your next inhale, dropping your knees down towards the mat, sending your right leg out back behind you. And then on the inhale, again, like we did on the opposite side, knee to nose, arc the spine, Step your right foot in between the palm of your hands, ground through, and just take a roll forwards and backwards, checking into your hip on the opposite side. And when you're ready, find a little bit of stillness, so grounding into your front foot. Push the floor away, coming into your low lunge. Inhale, raise the arms up. And exhale, cactusing the arms, sinking deeper. Inhale, pushing into your front knee as you push out of the lunge. And you may need to walk your foot a little bit further forward if you can lunge deeper. So each time you cactus your arms and come into your lunge, you may want to walk your foot forward so that you can find a bit more space. Inhale, pushing into your knee and away. And exhale, cactus and bending. And the next time you come upwards, dropping your right palm towards the mat, left arm all the way up and over, finding a stretch. Inhale, raise your arm up. Exhale, left arm down, right arm up and over, leaning slightly towards the left. And then dropping both hands down to frame your right foot, tucking your toes once more, and this time your left foot meets your right foot at the top of the mat. Bending into your knees, find your forward fold, and we're just going to hang out here. So option to grab onto both elbows, keep a bend and buoyancy in your knees, perhaps shifting the weight towards your heels, towards your toes. And just notice each vertebrae opening, finding space and length within your spine as you dangle over your hips. And then as slow as you can, rolling each vertebrae one at a time as you tuck your chin to your chest and roll all the way up to standing. On your inhale, arms go high. And on your exhale, hands, palms towards heart center. Taking your palms out towards your side, Tadasana. And just acknowledge the feeling of being upright. This is the first time we've been here throughout this practice. So just acknowledge any sensations that are happening within the body. An opportunity here to connect back to your intention for this practice. What was it that brought you here today? That brought you onto the mat? And what was it that you were hoping to achieve? Can you shift your mindset to continue to cultivate that intention? And we're going to move through a few sun salutations here. We'll do 2 rounds of Surya Namaskar A. So on your next inhale, raising the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, so bringing your hands towards your shins, rolling your shoulders behind your back. Think about your shoulder blades, your scapula being on your back, and then looking just in front of your mat so that your head and neck is in one long line with your lower back. And then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, plant the hands, step back into your plank. Think about pushing the floor away, pushing into your shoulders so that we're not sinking here, we're pushing into your shoulders here. And then slowly lower. Your option's chaturanga, or you can drop your knees, chin and chest as you come all the way down. Inhale, upward dog. And exhale, sending your hips back into your downward facing dog. Beautiful. On your next inhale, looking forward towards the palms, walking your feet as slow as you like until you reach the top of the mat. Then keeping a real big bend in your knees as you forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise, grounding down into your feet as you roll your vertebrae one at a time, coming all the way up to standing. Arms go high on the inhale. Exhale, hands by your side. One more time, moving at your own pace, your own breath. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold it down, plant your hands. Step back to plank. Pause for an inhale here. Exhale, lowering down. Inhale, upward dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Super nice. Just 3 breaths here. On your next inhale, raising your right leg all the way up and back. Might feel a pop in the hip. And if you want to feel a bit more opening, you can bend your knee, drop your feet towards your glute, and then open up the hip a little bit more. On the exhale, taking your knee all the way towards your nose, rolling through your spine, stepping your right foot towards the top of the mat. Keeping your left foot where it is, you're high up on your toes as you push into your right foot, coming into your high lunge. On the exhale, cactusing the arms out towards the side, bending deep into your right leg. Inhale, raise it up. Perhaps straightening your front leg a little bit, and then the exhale, bending deep. Inhale up. Exhale, bending deep. This time we inhale, dropping your right arm down, left arm all the way up and over. And then bringing your arm back up. Left palm goes down, right arm goes up and over. Find the side body stretch. Inhale, left arm up. Plant your hands down to frame your front foot as you step back towards your plank. You can roll through a vinyasa here if it feels good. Dropping down to a chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, tucking the toes, downward dog. We'll do the same on the opposite side. So left leg goes high. Bend the knee, open up the hip. Bringing your left knee towards your nose, arcing through the spine, stepping your left foot forward in between the palms. And then staying high on your right toes as you ground into your left foot. Raise the arms up. On the exhale, we're cactusing the arms, bending deep. Inhale, raise it up. Exhale, bend. And the next time you raise your arms up, dropping your left palm down, right arm up and over. Inhale with your left arm. Exhale, right palm down, left arm goes all the way up. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, plant your hands. Step back to plank once more. Drop your knees. You can keep your knees as wide as the mat as you come into your child's pose. So forehead towards the mat. Option to stay in child's pose, or option to take rest seating upwards if that feels better for you. Some people don't like to have their head down, so you can absolutely take your rest like this if it feels better. And just acknowledge any sensations that might have come up as we moved through each side a little bit faster pace than what we were doing previously. Where does your mind wander to? Where does your breath go? And can you come back to your intention? And if you're not there already, just melting down into child's pose. Forehead down to the mat and walking your hands over towards the left. So keeping your right hand on top of your left palm as you bend into your right side ribs. And walking your hands over towards the right. Left palm goes on top of right as you bend into your left side. Think about actively sending your left armpit down towards the mat so that you can breathe into your left side ribs. And then walking your hands back to center. And walking your hands all the way up towards your knees so that you're in a upright position. And then carry on going so that you're coming all the way back. Take your feet out towards the side and then step your feet onto the mat. And we'll do what we did at the beginning, the windscreen wiper with our knees. So sending your knees over towards the left. And then opening up towards the right. Can you acknowledge any differences that you might have felt from when we first started to now? Perhaps you can feel a little bit more open, a little bit more flexibility through the hips. And again, if you have a side that is not as open as the other, then just hold it there for a second. Breathe into it. And taking your feet together like a book, so pinky toes together, your big toes will open up so it's like a book. And actively sending your knees down so you can keep hold of your feet and push your elbows into your knees if that helps you find a little bit more space. Breathing here. And exhale, option to stay exactly where you are if this feels like enough. If you want a little bit more, you can always lean forwards. I'm not too worried about your alignment here. If your neck starts to round, that's totally fine with me. Just tune in to your hips. On your next inhale, coming all the way up, keeping your feet as they are, and then walking your hands back behind you. We're coming to lie down, so if you need to shift a little bit further forward to give yourself a bit more space, you can do. Coming onto your elbows and then lie all the way down. Lying here in your butterfly with your legs open, feet together. Just take a pause. And take your left leg all the way out straight towards the mat and bring your right knee in to meet you. Hugging your right knee in towards your chest. And then rolling through the knee, so sending your knee in over towards the left side. And then round. You can guide it with your hand as you draw circles, so crossing your knee over the body and then opening up. Beautiful. And once you've drawn 3 circles, change the direction. Taking your knee wide out towards the side and then crossing over in towards your chest. And the next time you come in towards your chest, just interlace your hands behind your leg. Think about straightening your right leg all the way up towards the ceiling. If that feels too much, you can step your left foot onto the mat, and then you might find that you've got a little bit more space to straighten your right leg. And bend at the knee. On your inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. And the next time you straighten your foot, you think about bringing your toes towards your face, so flexing the foot. And notice how that shifts the stretch into your hamstring. And then pointing your toes. And just explore how that feels within your body. Perhaps taking your toes over towards the left and then over towards the right. Perhaps drawing circles with your foot until you find a spot that feels like it needs a little bit of extra love. And you can just hold it there. And if you don't already have your left foot on the mat, if your left foot is out straight, step your left foot onto the mat and then cross your right ankle over your left knee. Swap your hands, so interlace them behind your left thigh, and then bring your knee towards your chest slightly. Think about actively sending your right knee out towards the side. If it helps, you can use your hand. Don't push too hard, just actively send a little bit of weight into your right knee so that you can open up towards the side. As you bring your left thigh in towards you, you should feel a lovely stretch on your glute. If you want to roll from side to side and massage your lower back in this stretch, you can do. And then change legs. Your right leg goes straight, left knee stays bent. Bring it in towards your chest for a hug. And then taking your left palm towards your left knee and drawing your circle, so taking your left knee out towards the side, down, round, across your chest and inwards. Drawing circles as big as you can, as exaggerated and slow as you like. And then changing the direction to the opposite side. And the next time you come to center, straightening your left leg. Again, you can stay here or you can step your right foot onto the mat to help you find a little bit more space within that left leg. Interlacing your hands behind your left thigh, bend at the knee. Straighten, bend, and straighten. And the next time you straighten your foot, can you think about flexing your toes towards your face? And then pointing your toes towards the ceiling. Perhaps sending your pinky toe over towards the left and your big toe over towards the right. Find a position that feels the best, most beneficial for you, and hold it there. Crossing your left ankle over your right knee to find your figure 4, pushing your knee away from you, and then interlacing your hands on your opposite thigh, on the right thigh, pulling it in towards you to feel that stretch in your left glute. If you're curling and rounding your shoulders, think about sending your shoulders up and back down towards the mat. This is actively a stretch for the legs, but there's no harm in bringing a little bit of awareness into the rest of your body and acknowledging what you're doing in your body and how you can release any tension that just doesn't need to be there. And then dropping your left foot down towards the mat, right foot down towards the mat. And if you're new to yoga, this is where we will move into our final resting spot, which is our Shavasana. You can take your legs down towards the mat, palms by your side, and let every part of your body just go heavy. Shavasana is an opportunity to just do nothing for the next 2 to 3 minutes. Use this to solidify everything that we've just done within our practice. And can you take a mental scan of your body from the crown of your head, the backs of your shoulders touching the mat, perhaps your elbows and your hips feel weighted. Perhaps your thighs and hamstrings are touching the mat. And just feel any tension that you don't need rolling out towards your feet. And this is your opportunity to just surrender. Before even moving, just slowly coming back to your body through your breath. Perhaps wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes. When you're ready, on your next inhale, taking your arms all the way up and above the head for a big stretch. Think about waking up for the first time, sending your arms away from you, your feet away from you. And then when you're ready, rolling over towards the right. slowly come to meet me in a seated position at the top of the mat. And keep your eyes closed. And just come back to your intention today. How did that practice make you feel? Were you able to tune into areas of your body that you've perhaps ignored? And taking a big inhale, raising the arms up. Exhale, palms to prayer, hands towards your chest. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Namaste.